Hey everybody, it's Jennifer Roberts here, Pod Queen, and I have a special guest, Anna Cavoto. Is that right?
Yes.
Good.
That's
See?
right.
I'm a linguist, people.
Perfect.
I can say Italian names, I can say Smith, Johnson, so many things I can say. Welcome to my show. I'm kind of an idiot, just so we all know. Well, they already know, but you don't, so this is new. So I have Anna with me today because Anna is a single woman in ministry, and I wanted to get her perspective about life and how to live life, because there's a lie that life doesn't begin until you get married. And it is a lie. I mean, it's fun when you get married, but there is tons of life before that. So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 6 months from 30.
Awesome.
Yeah.
6 months from 30. And so in that amount of time of life so far, what kind of things have you done and experienced?
Oh man, I've experienced so much.
Yeah.
I have got a degree. I'm working on a master's right now, and I've been in ministry for basically 10 years.
Wow.
So,
And you're with Youth with a Mission.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so give us some of the countries you've been to.
Oh, okay. I've been to Russia, South Africa, Scotland, England, France.
Probably can't remember them all now.
Yeah,
Because you
I've
keep
been-
traveling,
yeah.
and some of them you go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
China,
that's good.
Cambodia.
Right.
The only continents I've not been to is South America and Australia.
Okay.
So it'd be a broad
Yeah.
range.
Good. Awesome. And so, what were your expectations when you first went into ministry?
Oh, I thought I was gonna get married like right away.
Right.
Of course, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally a good catch. All the guys are gonna love me. I'll get married in
Look at her.
like 6 months. I'll totally
Right.
have like a sweet boyfriend and get married in a year. Have like 20 kids and just do ministry with me and my husband.
Right.
And yeah.
And so, at what point did you kind of go, this isn't happening, and was that okay?
I think about like 2 years in, I was like, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's really happening.
Mhm.
No guys are even interested. And
Mhm.
so, what am I going to do? Kind of like
Right.
am I going to get offended at God?
Right.
Or I'm just going to try to go into self-hatred? Or, of course, something is wrong with me.
Right.
Like, everyone around me is saying, oh, you're amazing, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't something happening?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so, that is deep. And I think regardless if you're a woman, single woman in ministry, or single woman in the career world or at college, I think you come to a point where your expectations weren't necessarily met, and then, wow, so what do we do now? How do we
Right.
go from here, Lord?
Right.
So, how did you do that? How did you make the jump?
I deeply founded myself in Scripture. I think that was the biggest thing of who does God say I am?
That's good.
Who is God? And then I need to line my life up with that.
Yeah.
So if there's something out of alignment, what's out of alignment? And then
Yeah.
how do I get from A to B and
Mhm.
align my life with Scripture? What does it say?
Right.
So if God says I'm beautiful, that takes away all self-hatred.
Right.
And
right.
what the world may say beauty is. Like,
Right.
I'm made in His image, I'm made in His likeness, so I don't need to be something else
Right.
in order to get a husband or
Right.
a variety of other things.
Right.
And then, who does the Bible say God is? He says that He's faithful.
Mhm.
He says that He's true. He's committed to my heart. He's committed to my life.
Mhm.
And just believe that we are created for a relationship.
Mhm.
And from the very beginning of
Right.
time, we were made to be in a relationship with others.
Mhm.
So just standing firm on that even if it happens when I'm 60 or 70,
Right. Right.
like, that's awesome.
Right.
But yeah, just
So you
trusting
haven't-
God's character.
You haven't ruled out that you're going to get married.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
I hope we'll get married really soon.
Right. And
But every
that's
year I
awesome.
think that, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But until then, you keep doing the things that you just mentioned. You just renew your mind. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm worth something great because God says so.
Mhm.
And do you think that a lot of women make the mistake of just kind of turning into a downward spiral?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and I've definitely been there many times over the past few
I
years.
appreciate that honesty.
For
yeah.
sure. Oh yeah, I think some days I wake up and I'm like, oh, this is just not gonna work.
Right.
Just it's easy to go the world's route and do all the good things
Mhm.
that women do to get husbands,
Right. Right.
And some days I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna live that way. I can't afford to live that way.
Right. You can't.
What God is doing in the earth, what He's doing in my life, it's too big
Right.
for me to get caught up in all that.
Right. and miss it.
And
because
miss
you're
it.
living this, oh my gosh,
Right.
what am I
It's
missing out
completely
on?
self-focused.
Right.
Instead of, God, what is your perspective? What are you doing in the earth? And then how can I be a part of that, whether or not I'm single or married?
Right, right. And I appreciate that global thinking of, you know, looking at God and going, what are you doing on the earth? And because he likes you, of course he wants to partner with you.
Right.
Which is a win-win.
Right.
So one day it'll be partnering with you and your husband and family, but right now it's partnering with you. And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
So tell me about being a single woman in ministry. What are some of the benefits?
Oh, I can basically go anywhere at any time.
Benefit number one.
Benefit number one.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's real.
Right. I mean, obviously, if you're married, you have to, like, check with your husband. You guys have to pray about it. If you have kids, that's a whole nother deal.
Yep.
I just spent 3 months in Europe, traveling around, basically just asking the Lord what to do every day. And, I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, a married woman just couldn't do that. It's just
Right.
the reality of it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's the hugest thing is that, obviously, I check with my friends. I have counsel around me.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, like, what is God saying to me? I can just get on a plane tomorrow.
Yeah, you can be mobile in a minute. Boom. You make a decision, you do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I am a married woman with children. It's just, there's a little more planning involved.
Right.
And, you know, you have to think through all kinds of things. Oh, my gosh, the kid's education and blah, blah, blah. And so you're freed up in a way that a lot of women aren't.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of women waste that opportunity.
Right.
And so, talk to me a little bit more about being a single woman in ministry. Like, okay, so you're mobile. You can kind of get up and move. And what are some other things you love?
I love the time that I get with the Lord. I recognize that if I'm married, obviously, like, I have husband, I have, like, a whole household, I have all that kind of stuff. Where in reality, if I want to spend 12 hours with the Lord one day, and I can, I don't have to worry about that. And that's, I mean, that's obviously, like, gold.
Absolutely.
To be able to just invest with the Lord, invest with just study, with worship, with prayer, with meditation.
Right.
I can just do it if I want to. If I feel like the Lord is calling me into a season of that, I can take the time away. I can't. I mean, that's time that I can never get back.
Right.
It's like invested time in the kingdom, invested time in understanding who God is, and growing in the knowledge of Him.
Women, real. That is so real. And, you know, I remember when my kids were younger, I would try to get up earlier before them to try to spend some time with the Lord. They would wake up earlier. And pretty soon I'm doing my quiet time with my kids are on my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
even still to this day, there are times where I'm feeding on the verses I memorized when I was single.
Right.
And so, you know, you are living a wise life. And you've got the time, and you're choosing to use that time wisely before the Lord. This will benefit her for years to come. Even when you're married with children, you will realize that you got gold in this season.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
Yeah.
It's just different than self-pity.
Right. It's the complete opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. What is before you? What do you have? And how can you get gold with it?
Right.
Which is a question we all have to ask.
Right.
All the time.
Of course.
So once you get married with children, you'll have to change your game.
Right.
But until then, you have time. So what would be just a quick, like, last exhortation to women that are considering doing ministry, and they're maybe a little bit afraid, or like, I don't want to do this without my husband, what would you say?
You just have to follow Jesus. Like, that's the whole point of our lives, is just to, like, follow the man, follow the voice that's been guiding us our whole lives, and just follow him, and just know that he is so committed to us. I think that's the hugest thing. And I can't afford to get offended at God, and I can't afford to live in self-pity, and I just have to follow what he's saying and just trust that he is so faithful that he has my whole life planned out. That's and he knows whether it's like 6 months from now that I'll get married or 20 years from now I get married. It doesn't matter to me. I know that he's committed to my heart, and I am my only job is to follow his voice. At the end of the day, no matter what my calling is, no matter what my destiny is, my first calling is relationship with him, and obviously the interaction of the understanding and following his plan, knowing that he'll light my way, is huge. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what this life is about. Whether you're married or single or in ministry or in the workplace or have 10 kids or have no kids, it doesn't matter. all of life is just about following him.
Right. That is
So-
the common denominator of humanity.
Yeah.
And so, girls, we want to say to you, join the adventure of the single life. Find God in the midst of it. Turn your circumstances into gold. Get out of self-pity and see what is available before you to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
So thanks you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Anne.
Yes, thank you.